Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. I am so excited to be here with you today. I got to tell you, the episode that I am about to record was not on my schedule for today. This was not the topic that I had planned to talk about, but it came to me this morning in my movement practice, and it was so pressing and so juicy. I had to stop what I was doing in my practice and take notes. So if you're watching the video version of this podcast, if you see me looking down, I have like an actual written notebook where my notes are today. So the thesis of this episode is that we all want skills, but we don't really want to engage in skill building because skill building is actually fucking terrible. Let me cook. Okay, so in business, this might look like you picture yourself in the future, the CEO you want to be, the company you want to be running, and you see yourself running a global team. You see yourself speaking on huge stages and getting paid tens of thousands of dollars to speak. You see yourself as a published author. You see yourself being called in as a subject matter expert on TV. You see yourself fully booked out with clients, whatever it is that you see for yourself in the future. And you're like, yes, that's who I want to be. That's where I'm headed. But that person has a certain level of skills and capabilities required to do those functions, to be in that space that current us maybe doesn't have, right? If you listened to the first episode of the year, How to Be One of the 8% of People Who Reaches Your Goals this year, I talked about the logical levels of change, right? And we talked about changing first at the identity level. So we're kind of going a different way in the pyramid now. How do we get to that identity level? Well, we need some skills and some capabilities because the person that we want to be has those skills, has those capabilities. They know how to do that thing. We all want to be there. We can see it in our mind. We're like, yes, I want to be there. But in order to be there, we're going to have to start taking some practical steps and learning some new skills and trying to do new things. And the actual process of that, most of the time, is painful, actually painful. Fucking sucks. And so we get into it and we experience the discomfort and the cognitive dissonance and the stretch of it. And then frequently we go, this is too hard. This sucks. And a series of things can happen at that juncture. But basically we just kind of like stop because it's hard. And so we never get to the place that we're trying to get to because we're not able to have the tenacity, the grit, and the resilience required through the skill building phase, through the part where we have to suck at something, sometimes in public, in order to have the repetition, to get the repetition in, to become good at the thing, to be the person who's good at the thing. I'm hoping that this is landing. I want to use movement as a metaphor here because it both is and isn't. And I really think everyone who's building a business needs a physically demanding hobby. That could be weightlifting. It could be dancing. It could be pole dancing. It could be swimming. It could be yoga. It could be roller skating. It could be contortion. Take up a physically demanding hobby. And by physically demanding, I mean it should be humblingly hard for you. It should require you to build physical strength, endurance, flexibility, and new neural pathways, like new physical skills. And it should be the kind of thing where no matter how much you practice or how good you get, there is an 8-year-old on the internet who is better right now than you will ever be in your life. That's the type of physical skill you want. You want to watch people do a thing on video and go, oh my God, I want to be the person who can do that thing. Boom. There you go. That's the goal. That's who I want to be. I want to be the person in that video capable of doing that thing. Watching this pole dance, and I'm watching somebody who's like hanging upside down from the inner crook of their knee, and they look so graceful and so relaxed, and it looks so effortless. And I'm watching that and going, I want to be that girl. Okay, but the only way to become that girl is to get on the pole. And the first thing that you recognize when you get on the pole is it actually physically hurts. Like, it's very hard. It is metal. You get bruises. Your skin is chafed. Your hands are slippery. It's hard to lift yourself. You feel like you had no idea how heavy your butt was until this very moment. and you're looking around and there's other people and they're in class and they're doing it and you cannot get yourself off the ground. And it is so physically demanding, right? I'm just using pole as an example. This could be any physical skill. You have this moment where you are so physically challenged. This is the moment where you start experiencing skill building, experiencing it in real time. There's no magic solution but practice. Oh, that sucks. We want there to be a shortcut. We want there to be a faster way. We want there to be a way to make it easy. Can't I just get there without grueling for a long time? No, you cannot. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. You're just going to have to push yourself to try and do the best you can do today. And here's what will happen. It is physically hard. And if it is the appropriate level of physically hard, it will become emotionally hard because it's humbling. And it may be mentally hard because there's actual cognitive dissonance happening. We only have cognitive dissonance happening when we're learning new things. A lot of adults, we don't learn a lot of new things frequently. We engage in repetitions of things we already know and confirmations of things we already know. If we are never confused, if we're never like, wait, I do not get it, we're not learning. So we encounter, I do not get it. I need you to explain it to me again. I see it, but I can't do it. I don't get it. Humbling. And if it's the right level of humbling, so now it's the right level of emotionally hard, it will become hard for your ego. And this is where skill building is made or broken. The second it becomes hard on your ego. And the way that you can tell when you've entered the territory that it's hard on the ego is that your inner asshole shows up and your inner dialogue starts going, I should be able to do this. I should be good at this. I should know this already. Why is this so hard? Why is it so hard for me and not so hard for them? I should be better than this already. Now, I always say, it's so funny when you're in this industry, especially for a long time, you have a lot of catchphrases. I got a lot of catchphrases, y'all, where there's should, there's shame, there's shadow work to do. The second you start saying should, I should be able to, I should be better than this, I should be able to get this faster. Should means I have shame about this. I am judging myself. I'm saying I'm not good enough, right? If I should be able to and I can't, I am shaming myself for where I'm at right now. That is an indicator that there is shadow work available for me there. Why do I think I should be able to do that? Why am I putting that much pressure on myself? Why am I not more compassionate with where I'm at in the moment? Why am I not willing to give myself the resources, the support, the compassion, the love that I need for where I'm at right now in order to get from where I am right now to the next level? Why am I shaming myself? Where there's should, there's shame, there's shadow. So you know if you're in your ego, if the shoulds show up. This also gets real hard for me, y'all. When it's in the territory of I used to be able to do this easily and now it's hard for me. Oh, that one hurts. That one is a kicker. When you watch yourself and you're like, ooh, I'm out of practice on something, or I've let a skill go, or I used to be strong enough. I used to be able to do this thing and now I'm coming back to it or trying to do it in a new way and I can't do it anymore. Ooh, now it's a struggle for me. That one is a kicker because then it turns into I should have practiced more. I shouldn't have let this go. I can't believe I've let this happen. Now we're blaming ourselves. And if your inner asshole is set up a certain way, we will go into, I'm never going to be able to do this. This will never work. I shouldn't bother working on this because it's never going to work anyway. There's no way I'm going to be able to ever be good enough to pull this off. I can't. And once you've arrived at I can't, you all kinds of fucked. Now, the really challenging thing is all of this can happen in a matter of minutes. It can happen in seconds. You encounter the challenge, you're humbled by the challenge, the ego feels challenged, and all of this litany of unhelpful inner dialogue starts. That unhelpful inner dialogue is your ego trying desperately to protect itself. The ego's job is to prevent you from changing. Unfortunately, right? Because the ego just wants to protect itself. It never wants to look bad. It never wants you to be embarrassed. It never wants to risk the childhood pantheon of inner demons: criticism, rejection, abandonment, punishment. Doesn't want to risk crap. No criticism, no rejection, no abandonment, no punishment. I don't want that to happen. I'm going to protect us by keeping us right where we are. And the best way that I can do that is by making you feel really bad about what's happening right now, convincing you it's never going to work, and convincing you to stop so that the embarrassment will stop. The humbling of this moment will stop. The physical pain will stop. We can go back to where we feel safe and comfortable and confident and like we know everything. This is why, like, I love taking a beginner class where I'm going to be the best person in the room. That feels good for our ego. Sometimes you need to be like, oh, I really am that girl. I really am that bitch. I really am that they, them icon. I really know exactly what I'm doing. That is fun, but you're not growing. Sometimes we need it because we don't always want to be pushing ourselves emotionally and physically to the point that we're going to cry. That's not like for every day. Sometimes we really do need an experience where we feel successful. And in business, that can be like someone who's just starting out asking you a question and you getting to hear how much you actually know and being like, okay, I really do know this stuff. I really know what I'm doing at my current level. We need that too. There needs to be a balance, but we don't grow there. We're not growing when we're the smartest person in the room. We're not growing when we're the most experty expert we know. We're not growing when every challenge that we're being given, we are perfectly matched for. We are only growing when we're struggling. And that's why skill building is difficult. That's why that's why we want to avoid it. That's why we wish there was a shortcut. That's why we end up shutting down. That's why we end up quitting. That's why we end up procrastinating, delaying, because we'll do it maybe once and then be like I got through it, but that was grueling. Okay, well, I guess I should probably do that at least once a week, maybe 3 times a week, maybe every day. I should probably be practicing that. And then we just don't because, oh, it was so hard. Now I'm sore. Now I'm tired. I don't know if I can handle that again. It takes so much grit, internal determination to be willing to suck for as long as it takes to get better, especially if you have to do it in public. This is challenging. In the inner work that I do with my clients, I do all of my inner work based on archetypes, the survival archetypes and the empowered archetypes, the powerhouse CEO archetype framework. This is warrior shit, right? The warrior is the part of us that is unswayed by obstacles and is like, okay, it's hard. Fine. I will rise to that challenge because I'm on a mission from God. That was a Blues Brothers reference. If you haven't watched the Blues Brothers, I am older than you. If you're on a mission from God, right? I am here to do a thing. My mission, my determination to be at that level that I see in my mind's eye, to be the person who's doing those things. My mission is so clear, so strong. I'm so dedicated to it that there is no obstacle that will stop me. Okay, it's hard. I'll get stronger. Okay, I need to like be able to reach more. I'm going to get more flexible. Okay, it's tall. I'm going to climb over. There's a wall. I'm putting in a door. Can't put in a door. I'm putting in a window. Can't put in a window. I'm going around it. It's too wide. I'm going under it. Like we will not be stopped. That's the vibe of warrior. And it's not about pushing yourself past burnout. It's not about hustle. It's just about that inner determination that, like, I'm not going to be defeated. I know, I know that my success is inevitable. And when I believe that my success is inevitable, then challenges are just that. I can handle them. I'm willing to handle them. I will handle them with a smile on my face because victory is mine. I already know that. That's just who I am. I always win, right? That is the energy of the archetype of warrior that we can rely on in these moments where we feel challenged. And I want you to just feel, as I say those words, how different that feels from, I should know how to do this already. I should be better than this. I can't believe this is so hard for me. I'm never going to be able to do this. This stuff is easy for everyone else. Look, everyone's got it except for me. I can't believe how bad I'm fucking this up. The second we start thinking that, the second the inner voice in our head is the inner voice of ego, we are sunk. In a class environment, when this happens, like if this happens for me in a dance class, I am thwarted because the class is going to keep moving. They're going to keep going on. The teacher's going to keep teaching. And now they've gone on farther. And I'm like, wait, I'm still back here. I missed what was happening because I was wrestling with myself in my head. I couldn't even be paying attention. The thing I always say about this moment, right? Whenever this is happening, is now you've got two problems. You've got the physical challenge in front of you, and then you've got the inner turmoil that you're taking yourself through over the direct challenge in front of you. You can no longer just pay attention to what you need to do. You can't get diagnostic. You can't get curious. You can't build the skill because first you have to go wrestle with your shame. You have to go feel bad about yourself. It's an emotional detour from the work, and it's not productive. I hate that word. Y'all know I hate that word. But the way that I mean it in this case is it's not going to allow you to move forward. It's only going to slow you down. It is kind of a false flag where you have to just shift all of your attention away from focusing on what you need to do to gain the skill and go into the soothing required, or even usually we're not even soothing, we're just engaging with the bullshit in our head. The thing that I found myself saying today, I just looked down at my notes and I found what I had written down as I was dancing was, with breath all things are possible. And I just kept saying it to myself, and I like caught myself saying it and wrote it down. I was working through a class that was so physically challenging, and I do this work inside myself all the time. I do it in my movement practice because doing it in movement allows me to take it into business. I have real time lived practice of watching myself face and conquer challenges. And so the way that I talk to myself now is real different. The second I notice the shoulds pop up, or I'm like, that is hard. I am mad about this. I do not want this to be so hard for me. I have an alternate voice that kicks on, and I'm going to get into that, how we develop this alternate voice in a little bit. But my inner coach voice comes out. My inner powerhouse comes out. My inner coach starts coaching me through it in this very supportive, you've got this, you can do this, this is okay. Just focus. What do we need to look at? This is totally possible. Hey, maybe we're not going to get it today, but that's all right. Just breathe. Just keep breathing. With breath, all things are possible. With breath, all things are possible. Because I don't know about y'all, but when I am challenged, I notice that I am holding my breath. With breath, all things are possible. Another thing that I see happening when we feel like something is going to be really hard is that we have a very sophisticated ego protection and procrastination method, which I call bullshit cross training. Now, cross training is great. It is sometimes really important to be building counter skills that support the skill you're trying to build. So, for instance, if you are trying to improve in dance, then also doing yoga could be really beneficial because it's going to help you build strength, body awareness, flexibility. It's not going to directly help you get better at dancing, but it will help you build some of the capabilities and the resources that you need for dancing. Also, dancing can really challenge your body in very specific ways, and yoga can help unwind those things so you're not getting too tense, right? This also might be true, like say you're weightlifting, it may also really be good to be swimming. You're running, it may also be really good for you to be doing yoga, right? So sometimes like cross training is beneficial. I'm not saying cross training is not beneficial. Just like let the record state. I'm not saying cross training is bullshit. Bullshit cross training is when we decide the thing I actually want to do is either too hard or too scary right now. So what I'm going to do instead is go do this other thing first, and then I'll go do the thing I want to do. I've had people tell me, I want to take dance class, but I don't think I'm in good enough shape to take dance class. So I'm going to weightlift for a year and then I'm going to come take dance class. That's not going to help you be a better dancer. This type of strength you need to build in dance, you really only get from dancing. Weight training could be good cross training for you if you're also dancing, but doing weight training for the year most of the time, not for everyone. One of the dangers of speaking on the internet is like, I'm not talking for all bodies all the time, right? You know when you're bullshitting. What this has looked like in business is I had a client come to me and say, I really want to have this premium high ticket one-on-one service, but I'm just starting my business. So the way that I think I need to prepare for selling this premium high ticket one-on-one service is to sell low ticket group services. I need to prove myself, quote unquote, as someone worthy of premium high ticket services by selling a lot of low ticket group services. And the fallacy in this logic is that if you spend a year selling low ticket group services, the thing that it prepares you for is selling low ticket group services. You will get better at that. You will build skill at that. You will become more proficient at selling low ticket group services. But at the end of that year, you will still be an absolute beginner at selling high ticket premium one-on-one services. You will not have proven that you're good at selling high ticket premium one-on-one services or providing them. You will have built an audience for low ticket group services. So you will still be starting at zero as a purveyor of high ticket premium one-on-one. So what if we just start with the high ticket premium one-on-one and you do that for a year, and a year from now you will be that much better at high ticket premium one-on-one service and sales. There is no way to get good at high ticket premium one-on-one sales by doing low ticket group sales. There's just no way to do it. The path from here does not lead to there. That is bullshit cross training. You are scared, right? You have a worthiness wound. You have self doubt. You're like, I don't know if I believe to charge. I don't know if I believe I'm good enough to charge high ticket. I don't believe anyone will pay for that. I don't think there's enough clients out there. I don't think people are going to take me seriously. So I think the thing I should do is go do this totally other thing that I'm actually not scared of, that doesn't intimidate me at all. I don't have as many objections to the idea that lots of people will pay $50 for something as I do believing that one person would pay $50,000 for something. So I'm just going to go do the thing that feels less scary. That is bullshit cross training. There is no way to become the person who has this high level skill set by dabbling in a low level skill set that doesn't intimidate you. That is your ego coming up with a very complicated, roundabout, sophisticated workaround, fancy procrastination to get you out of having to confront the inner work that rises to the surface when you consider doing the real thing that you want to do that actually scares you. And again, ain't nothing to it but to do it. If you want to get good at public speaking, you've got to start public speaking. Like, there's not going to be a way around it, and you're going to have to suck in public for a while. And you're going to have to like make a lot of pitches and hear a lot of no's before you start getting gigs. And that's just how that's going to go. If you want to get good at podcasting, you're going to have to release 100 episodes that suck. Just no way around it. That is the path. If you want to get to the 500th episode, if you want to get to the point where you have that global podcast following, that people listen to you, that they hang on your every word, that they're booking your services through your podcast, you've just got to start podcasting. There is no way around it. And your first handful of episodes are going to suck. There's no way around it. You're going to change software. You're going to not like how you look on them. You're going to change your camera. You're going to get new mics. You're going to change your intro music. You're going to change your cover art. Like, there is no way around the growing pains of having to allow yourself to be seen muddling through in public. And this is where we circle back around to where we started. We want to have the skills, but we actually don't want to engage in public skill building because it fucking sucks. It is awful for our ego to allow ourselves to be seen in progress because we're perfectionistic and we're mean to ourselves and we're in our head and we don't really allow ourselves process and we want to appear fully formed and perfect on the world stage without having to go through the grueling and humiliating ritual of building the muscle while people are watching. It is hard. It is hard. It is agonizing. The reason I believe that 85% of businesses fail within the first 18 months is not necessarily because the product or service that those businesses offer is not good. It's because the ego pain required to fumble in public and to be seen being a beginner is painful. This is why I really advocate for people to do things like dance and yoga while they're building a business because you have to suck in public. Like it's not necessarily just like a solo sport. You have to do it in a room with other people if you're taking classes. And that is where you come face to face with the way that your inner world responds to the idea that people are watching you not be perfect at something. And that's going to give you a lot of information about the landscape of inner work required for you to become the person you want to be, for you to reach your goals, for you to see yourself in that place that you see yourself in your mind's eye, having those skills and rocking it out. There just is no other way. So, I had mentioned that I have developed an inner coach voice that I turn on in the moments where I'm experiencing physical challenge. And now it's in the moment where I'm experiencing challenges in my business, challenges in my life. I believe that there are three things that we need to do to get our brain back on track. We need helpful brain. I'm going to talk about the difference in a moment between helpful brain and non-helpful brain. We need helpful brain. So how do we get helpful brain? We need to, number one, get mechanical. Number two, get curious. And number three, get playful. There's a wonderful teacher who I took a workshop from. Uh, their Instagram is Erotics of Liberation, and their name is Care. They said that curiosity is the opposite of trauma. And I love that so much. That when you are in a nervous system hijacked state, a fight, flight, freeze, fawn state, we are not curious. When we can get into curiosity, we can start to regulate. So get mechanical, get curious, get playful. Here's what I mean by get mechanical. What do I physically need to do step by step? That's the problem that's directly in front of us. What do I physically need to master in this moment, step by step? What's step one? What's step two? What's step three? Okay, now we're getting curious. How do I do that? What am I missing? What am I doing differently? What do I need to engage and what do I need to let go? How do I do this? Do I need repetition? Do I need to ask someone a question? Do I need to bring in somebody to watch me do it and give me feedback, right? Get curious. And then immediately after getting curious, we got to get playful. Let's have fun with it. If I'm here and I'm trying it, let's just make it fun. Lighten up. I can always try again. I don't have to get it today, right? If for dance, like thank God for me for music, because once the music is on, if I like the song, I can usually get playful. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I love this. I'm here because I love doing this. I want this. I want to know how to do this. Being able to laugh at ourselves, bringing in a little bit of levity. We're going to talk soon about growth mindset versus fixed mindset on this podcast. But if you have never encountered that, just go throw in the Googs growth mindset, fixed mindset. You can even look on Google Images for growth mindset and fixed mindset. There's a lot of lovely diagrams that really show the two sides of the ways of thinking. That's from the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. But when we're in a fixed mindset, we are really worried about people finding out that we're not good We don't really believe we can get better. We believe that all the skills we have are really fixed and really limited. And our whole goal is just to protect ourselves from being embarrassed. But when we're in a growth mindset, we're like, I can do this. I can improve. I can get better. I can increase my skills. There's no reason for me to not be able to improve in this with practice. I can do this. So why don't I have fun doing it? I don't have to get it today. So we get mechanical, we get curious, we get playful. Helpful brain sounds like, what do I physically need to do? Step by step. What's step one? What do I need to do next? What do I need to know right now? What am I missing? Okay, now move over here. Okay, now do it like that. Okay, good job. Now try it again, right? Helpful brain. Unhelpful brain is, you really should be better at this. I can't believe you don't know this. I can't believe how hard this is. Once we start going down that track, our mind is not available to help us with the task at hand. Now you've got two problems. You're over here focused on stuff that will not help you. The second we find that happening, we've got to get mechanical, get curious, get playful. So in business, right, we're trying to build a business skill. We notice ourselves starting to learn it and we immediately get overwhelmed and we go, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize this thing I wanted to do had so many steps. This is so hard. I can't believe how far behind the eight ball I am. I can't believe how long this is going to take me. I can't believe there are so many people who are better at me than this. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to pull this off. This isn't going to work. I should just wait. I should just stop. I should just come back to this later when I have more time. I will come back to this when I have more money. I should just go work on this other thing for a while and get better at this, and then I'm going to come back to it later. All of that is unhelpful. All of that is us protecting our ego above protecting our mission, protecting our comfort zone instead of protecting our growth, our purpose. So, what we need to do instead, the second we see that happening, is, oh, okay, this is hard. Whew, this is harder than I thought it was. Okay, what do I need to understand today? Let me just see if I can get a good grasp of step one. Okay, this is going to take a while, but you know what? The time is going to pass anyway. That's all right. How can I engage with this the best I can today? What's the number one thing I can take away from this today? I'm probably going to have to practice this every day. How can I break this into bite sized steps for myself? Who can I call to support me? Do I need to get an accountability buddy? This is going to be a little bit more of a stretch than I thought it was, but that's okay because I believe in myself and I've got time. I've got resources. I've got the ability. If I need to go learn something, I can learn it. If I need to engage coach to support me, I can engage a coach to support me. If I need an accountability buddy, I'll go get an accountability buddy. Whatever it's going to take, what do I need to figure out in order to do this? What do I need to do next? What kind of help do I need to support me? Let's have fun. Okay, I'm not going to get it today. That's all right. I'm a work in progress. That's fine. I'm a human. Everybody out there is a beginner at something. Nobody's looking at me. What did Dr. Seuss say? Hating hoes ain't happy and happy hoes ain't hating? No. Those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. That's what Dr. Seuss said. I think the other one is me. When we can bring that, our warrior, our coach, that's when we are able to endure the discomfort required for skill building. That's the grit and resilience required to keep showing up and sucking every day and getting a little bit better incrementally every day and putting a little bit of track behind us one step at a time so that 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, we can turn around and go, oh, I remember when that was so hard for me. And now look at how easy it is. Wow, I've really grown. Wow, I've really allowed myself to improve. That's where we start to build confidence. That's where we start to be proud of ourselves. That's where we start to really feel like a CEO, like somebody who shows up and put the reps in. Nobody can take that from you. You earn that by showing up, by being determined. Devotion creates miracles. That act of devotion to yourself, to your vision, to your mission, to allow yourself to show up every day and get mechanical, get curious, get playful. to offer yourself a new inner voice that's not only the inner asshole critic of the ego and is instead the inner supportive cheerleader of your inner coach, your inner powerhouse CEO. The archetype of the powerhouse CEO inside my work is the one who is able to look at the situation and figure out what's needed. Do I need more warrior? Do I need more lover? Do I need more of my inner genius? Do I need more alchemist? Like, what do I need to draw on to get this done? Do I need help? Do I need a class? Do I need a coach? Whatever it is I need, I've got me because I'm here to lead the team forward, my inner team first, and then the team of my company. That's my job. Me being resourced is my job. So, how do I resource myself in this moment so that I can do what needs to be done? That is the part of ourselves we need to have online in order to lead ourselves through building the skill and capacity required to be the person who does the thing we want to do. I hope I worked myself there in the end. Okay, I've been talking for a long time. The book is closed. That's all I have to say today. I hope that this was helpful for you and valuable, and I explained it in a good way. Please let me know. We have a new Instagram for the podcast. So excited about it. Follow Inner Game of Entrepreneurship on Instagram, and you can DM me over there. Let me know how this landed for you. You can, of course, follow my coaching business at Intuitive Edge Coaching on Instagram. It's always linked with all the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship posts. So, yeah, if this was valuable for you, please leave me a message, leave me a comment. You can rate, review, subscribe, share this podcast episode with a friend. If you share it on Instagram and tag Inner Game of Entrepreneurship, I would love to see that and I will reshare that as well. Okay. I think that's all I have for you today. It is still early in the year. If you are not entirely sure where you're struggling in your business, where you are leaking focus and energy and revenue, I have a really cool offer for you. It is a very smart Google sheet called the CEO Audit. And it's 27 bucks. It's usually 127, but it's 27 for the top of the year. You grab this smart sheet. It comes to you via email. You open it up in your Google Drive, and it has a series of tabs at the bottom where you're going to rate your performance in certain areas on a scale of 1 to 5. And by giving yourself this simple assessment, the sheet is going to be able to tell you exactly what's going on in your business, exactly where you're leaking focus, revenue, energy, income, exactly where you're the bottleneck, and exactly what to focus on next in order to fix it. It will give you a handful of really productive journal prompts, and it will give you some actionable next steps in order to move yourself into the next phase. And you can just make copies of it and keep retaking the sheet. You could do it monthly, you could do it quarterly to watch yourself improve in each of these areas of business. So I will link that in the show notes. You can grab that as well. Okay, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to to subscribe and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.